The hour of convening having arrived, all members of the House will please come to the floor and take their seats. All members, clerk will ring the bell. All members, if you want to be in the roll call, need to come to the floor of the House. We're going to do the call of the roll here in a matter of seconds. All members. We're going to have the call of the roll. All members of the House present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. We will have scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 141st House District, Representative Kidd, who will introduce the chaplain. Representative Kidd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's really a pleasure for me to introduce the chaplain of the day today. Years ago, y'all probably won't believe this, but my grandmother thought I was going to be a pastor. That's a true story. And I have to admit, the first time I gave the sermon in church, if you could have tied symbols to my knee, you could have brought down the halls of Jericho. But it's my pleasure to introduce my second pastor in Milledgeville. Most of you are probably like me as a politician. You didn't visit all the churches in your district until you ran for office. I was the same way. I didn't attend his church until after I was getting ready to run for office. But now I'm proud to say that Reverend Reed and his Flag Chapel Baptist Church are my second church. I go there often and so forth. And I enjoy his sermons, I enjoy his choir, and I enjoy his fellowship. Reverend Reed is a pastor of Flag Chapel Baptist Church in Milledgeville. He's a native of Hancock County, and he grew up through the public school system in Hancock County. He has 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. I guess that's why the women are taking over the world, that people are having more women children than there are men children. But when I first met Omar Reed, he was really on the golf course. And I met him at all the civic functions around town because he's a true Milledgevillian now and participates in all the social functions and so forth. And he plays golf all over the state. So if you need a partner sometime, give him a call. He's a chief chaplain at Central State Hospital. He was served in Vietnam as a U.S. Navy pastor. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you my friend and my second pastor in Milledgeville, Reverend Omar Reed. If I can do this without fucking breaking.
Good morning. Speaker Ralston, thank you for allowing me the honor of addressing this body. To my representative, Representative Kidd, thank you for the invitation and the introduction. to the members of this house from across this great state, and to all who make up this body this morning. It's indeed an honor to have this privilege just to be here. I'd like to speak from a passage of scripture taken from the Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 12, verse 48b says, "For unto whomsoever much is given, of him much is required, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more." And I'd like to talk for just a few moments about doing the right thing. Today I stand here as a representative of the Most High God and of the people of this great state to remind you of the awesome obligation that stands before you this and every day of this session. It was predicted by a 16th century world-renowned so-called prophet whose name is Nostradamus, that on December 21st, 2012, the world is going to end. It'll be the day of reckoning, the day when we all shall stand before our righteous God and give an accounting of the things that we have done in this life. St. Luke quotes Jesus as having said, "To whom much is given, much is required." Most of the citizens of this state have a fairly routine life. We go to work, we go to church on that day, and we spend a lot of time doing family things. Short of our national government, my friends, you, the legislators of our great state, have been given an enormous task. You have the responsibility of the welfare of the entire citizenship of this state in your charge. White people, black people, red and yellow people, the competent, incompetent, sane, and insane. We are all your responsibility, and we're depending upon you to make decisions that will better our lot in life as individuals and as a state. We're God's people at your mercy. You were elected to better our lives. So if the great Nostradamus is correct, what will you tell God on December 21st this year? Now, that's really worth a moment of thought, because you can lie to me. You can tell me that you did everything in your power to allocate the necessary funds to educate all of our children so that they'd have an opportunity to achieve the American dream. And you know within your heart that you spent 2, maybe 3, 4, 5 times more money keeping people incarcerated than you did to educate one. You can tell me that our mentally challenged community is better off wandering the streets, committing petty crimes, and creating a double burden on the county taxpayers through the jail system and the hospitals. But search your souls. Only you know within your hearts whether you've been responsible toward the downtrodden. I hope God will be pleased with your efforts, because all of us are vulnerable. None of us are more than a moment from insanity, or one mistake from incarceration. Perhaps some of us have dug deep enough into the pork barrel to afford private care, but there's not enough for everyone. Perhaps it's time for us to give the people of our wonderful state the kind of care that they really deserve and maybe can afford if we look into the right places. I believe it's the right thing to do. A good start might be by investing the same amount in our children's education as we invest in our children's incarceration. We might just develop some minds that will create jobs that'll keep the world employed, jobs that will last until Jesus comes, just in case he delays beyond December 21st this year. If we start today by changing our hearts and abandoning our self-serving practices and start being the blessings that the people elected you to be, I believe that if December 21st is the day, or if Juneteenth is the year of the year of our Lord, and 6,496 is the day. We'll hear the Lord say to us on that day, "Well done." Of course, we've heard predictions of the world's end time and time again. And we know that Jesus said, "No man, including Nostradamus, knows the day or the time when the Son of Man shall appear." For some, he'll appear today. For others, tomorrow. Eventually, all of us will stand before God. And God shall judge our hearts. Let us pray. Our Father, I pray now that you'll move on the hearts of these legislators. Let them understand that their responsibility must be in the best interest of your people, even the least of them. Help them to put aside self and to do the job that they were elected to do. Keep them keenly aware of the day of reckoning, when they shall stand before you with their lives revealed as an open book, and there'll be no arguments. Touch their hearts now and charge them this day and every day to serve not only special interest in their constituents, but to serve you. For you, my Lord, are the final word on where we spend eternity. And I believe that all of us on that day, whether December 21st or Juneteenth or whatever year, we simply want to hear you say, "Well done." I bless you, Lord, and I ask you to bless these legislators in the precious name of Jesus. Amen. Join me in pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes Chairman Davis, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits has read and reviewed the journal from the previous legislative day and found it to be correct.
Chairman Davis of the 109th District, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. O'Neill, the 146, moves the following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period of unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions, first reading of bills and resolutions, second reading of bills and resolutions, reports of standing committees, third reading of passage, uncontested local bills, morning orders, rules calendars, privilege resolutions, through the resolution establishing the order of business for this day.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 923 by Representative Howard, 121st, a bill to be entitled Act providing consolidation of Richmond County, City of Augusta.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 924 by Representative Howard, 121st, a bill to be entitled Act regulating public instruction for the County of Richmond.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 925 by Representative Hudson, 124th, a bill to be entitled Act creating Board of Commissioners, McDuffie County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 926 by Representative Hudson, 124th, a bill to be entitled Act providing for a 7-member Board of Education in McDuffie County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 927 by Representative Hudson, 124th, a bill to be entitled Act creating a new charter, City of Thompson.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 928 by Representative Riley of the 50th, a bill to be entitled 47 relating to peace officers annuity and benefit fund.
Judiciary.
House Bill 929 by Representative O'Neill, the 146th, a bill to be entitled Act repealing Act creating Office Assistant District Attorney in certain judicial circuits.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 930 by Representative O'Neill, 146, bill to be entitled Act repealing Act providing for supplemental expense allowance for judges, certain judicial circuits.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 931 by Representative Shaw, 176, bill to be entitled Act amending Title 33 relating to insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 932 by Representative Williams IV, bill to be entitled Act amending Code Section 48863 relating to definition of non-resident subcontractor.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 933 by Representative Rogers 26, bill to be entitled Act amending Code Section 10147 relating to pre-need escrow accounts.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 934 by Representative Parsons 42nd, a bill to be entitled Act amending Code Section 50373 relating to state agencies.
Energy, utilities, and telecommunications.
House Bill 935 by Representative Casas 103rd, a bill to be entitled Act amending Title 20 relating to elementary, secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 936 by Representative Casas 103rd, a bill to be entitled Act amending Title 20 relating to Quality Basic Education Act.
Education.
House Bill 937, Representative Spencer, 108th, bill to be entitled Act amending Code Section 274-171 relating to bait shrimp dealers.
Game, fish, and parks.
House Bill 938, by Representative Sessler, 35th, bill to be entitled Act amending Title 48 relating to sales and use taxes.
Transportation.
House Bill 939, by Representative Reynolds, 152nd, bill to be entitled Act amending Title 21 relating to primaries, elections generally.
Governmental affairs.
House Resolution 1350 by Representative Sessler, 35th, resolution proposed amendment of the Constitution to create special transportation districts.
Transportation.
Senate Bill 337 by Senator Goggins, the 7th, the bill to be entitled Act amending Title 33 related to insurance.
Insurance.
Senate Bill 339 by Senator Miller, the 49th, the bill to be entitled Act amending Title 6 relating to Georgia Aviation Authority.
Governmental affairs.
Through the first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
HB 902 by Representative Green of the 149th, a bill to revise and restate the law relating to Calhoun County Board of Education. HB 903 by Representative Green, 149th, a bill to amend an act to create a Lower Chattahoochee Regional Airport Authority. HB 904 by Representative Dickey of the 136th, a bill to provide that future elections for the office of Judge of Probate Court of Monroe County shall be nonpartisan elections. HB 905 by Representative Setzler, the 35th, a bill to amend an act creating Board of Commissioners, Cobb County. HB 906 by Representative Maddox of the 127th, a bill to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education in Pike County. HB 907 by Representative Benton of the 31st, a bill to amend an act to create a Board of Commissioners, County of Jackson. HB 908 by Representative Benton of the 31st, a bill to amend an act providing a new charter for the City of Commerce. HB 909 by Representative Benton of the 31st, a bill to amend an act establishing a system of public schools in the City of Jefferson, Georgia. HB 910 by Representative Maddox of the 127th, a bill to amend an act creating Board of Commissioners, Roads and Revenues, Upson County. HB 911 by Representative Chanel of the 116th, a bill to amend an act to provide compensation for the Judge of State Court, Putnam County. HB 912 by Representative Harbin of the 118th, a bill to amend an act providing for the election of the Board of Education, Columbia County. HB 913 by Representative Harbin of the 118th, a bill to amend an act creating Board of Commissioners, Columbia County. HB 914 by Representative Sims of the 169th, a bill relating to fiscal bills. HB 915 by Representative Taylor of the 55th, a bill relating to tire disposal restrictions. HB 917 by Representative Allison of the 8th, a bill relating to special license plates, promoting certain beneficial projects and supporting certain worthy agencies, funds, and nonprofit corporations. HB 918 by Representative Allison of the 8th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding military emergency management and veterans affairs. HB 919 by Representative Martin of the 47th, a bill relating to state health planning and development. HB 920 by Representative Martin of the 47th, a bill relating to the contents and form of the budget report. HB 921 by Representative Dixon of the 6th, a bill to amend an act relative to Murray County Board of Education. HB 922 by Representative Reese of the 11th, a bill to amend an act providing for the election of members Board of Education, Chattooga County. HR 1335 by Representative Holcomb of the 82nd, a resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution of Georgia so as to clarify the authority of the state to establish statewide education policy. Senate Bill 363 by Senator Bullock of the 11th, the bill to amend an act creating Board of Commissioners, Thomas County, through second readers.
Report of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Representative Hamilton, 23rd, Chairman, Committee on Governmental Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Governmental Affairs has in consideration following bill. House struck bid support to send back to House following recommendation. House Bill 636 to pass by substitute. Respect submitted Representative Hamilton, Chairman. Representative Smith, 131st, Chairman, Committee on Insurance. Submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Insurance had in consideration following bills. House struck bid report to send back to House following recommendation. House Bill 640, 785, 76 to pass. Respect submitted Representative Smith, Chairman. Representative Sims, 169, Chairman, Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination has in consideration following bill. House struck bid report to send back to House following recommendation. House Bill 839 to pass. Respect submitted Representative Sims, Chairman. Representative Neal, 1st District, Chairman, Committee on State Institutions and Property, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on State Institutions and Property has had in consideration following resolution. House struck bid report to send back to House following recommendation. House Resolution 1325 do pass. Respect submitted Representative Neal, Chairman. Representative Roberts, 154, Chairman, Committee on Transportation, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Transportation has had in consideration following bills. The House struck bid report to send back to the House following recommendation. House Bill 817, 835 do pass by committee substitute. Respect submitted Representative Roberts, Chairman, through the committee reports.
Okay, we're going on to morning orders. House will come to order. We're going on to morning orders. The chair recognizes Representative Williams for a morning order. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my pleasure to recognize a group of folks who are here from my home county of Oconee County today. These folks are participants in the Georgia Civic Awareness Program, or GCAP, which is an ACCG-sponsored program. And I can tell you, I've attended a lot of our county commission meetings and see these young folks there and involved. I would like to ask them if they would, the folks from Oconee County, to stand with GCAPs and let us recognize you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The chair recognizes the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Chairman Chanel, for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special group of kids with us today as well. They are the 3rd grade class from Lake Oconee Charter School in Greene County. Lake Oconee Charter School is one of the highest performing charter schools in the state. Not only do they provide great education, quite frankly, it's economic development for our area. There are people moving in to Greene County to be able to go to that school. We have the 3rd grade class, about 40-something kids, along with about, I think, 30 parents who are here. The teachers for 3rd grade is Melissa Snell and Sarah Lynn Bryant, who also happens to be my daughter. And if you all don't mind, if you would stand and be recognized when we welcome you to the House of Representatives.
Who? Okay. The chair recognizes Representative Welch and the other members of the Henry County delegation. Chairman Davis, Representative Baker, Chairman Yates.
You see it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Henry County Day at the Capitol. You'll see several of us walking around with the round buttons from Henry County. Please say hello and welcome everyone to Henry County. You've got a nice bag from Henry County, and just wanted to thank the Henry County Chamber of Commerce, Henry County Development Authority, Atlanta Motor Speedway. The pace car is out on the side, the south side staircase of the Capitol, if you'd like to go by and visit. I also want to thank Piedmont Healthcare of Henry County, Tanger Outlet Mall, and Shane's Rib Shack. So we have these items in here, and then Representative Davis has a little item for you.
Thank you, Representative Welch, and your organization of Henry County Day this year. We also have leaders from all over Henry County. We have the Board of Commissioner Chairman Elizabeth Mathis. We also have several of the commissioners, several mayors, city council members. And just so you know, when we talk about Shane's Rib Shack, they have been franchised all over the country now, but it was originally started in Henry County and McDonough and in your district. In my district. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. Actually, Shane Thompson is a friend of mine. He actually lived in the same subdivision with me when he left the pharmaceutical business and went into the restaurant association. And it's a great organization. And it talks a lot about faith in corporate worthiness. So thank you so much for everyone recognizing our leaders. We also have our Henry leadership class here. We have our Henry youth leadership class. Are they in the room now?
Anyone from Henry County.
Anyone from Henry County up in the gallery, if you would, please stand up. Our Fire Chief, Bill Lacey. But thank you, everyone, for being here and the support that all of you give to us as a delegation. We appreciate what you do, and it's our honor to serve you.
The chair recognizes for a morning order the chair of the Public Safety and Homeland Security Committee, Chairman Purcell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today we are commending many of our medical service providers here in the state of Georgia with the Association of EMTs, our paramedics, our emergency management services, and all of those that are involved in the protection and the quick service and response that they give to our communities. As we recognize these people today, I want you to know with us that we have the chairman of the Georgia EMS group here with us, and that's Courtney Terwilla. I think he's up in the balcony with us, if you'll stand if you're here right now. We also have the Georgia EMS board members, Kelly Joyner, James Turk, and David Moore, as well as we have the executive director of the Georgia EMS, Kim Littleton, and Keith Wages is the director of the state office of EMS. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stand and recognize the gentleman that is this year's 2011 EMT of the Year, Captain Ken Wilson of Gwinnett Fire and EMS. Where are you, Ken? Thank you so much for giving that rise to the individuals that serve us so well, and they're the central avenue to life-saving here in the state of Georgia, and we thank you for being here today. Thank you, Mr.
The chair will ask the clerk to read the caption to a resolution prior to the next morning order. House will come to order, please. Clerk will read.
House Resolution 1275 by Representative Burns, 157th, and others, A resolution resolved by the House of Representatives, members of this body recognize February the 8th, 2012 as Sportsman's and Coastal Day at the state capitol.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the Game Fish and Parks Committee and the chairman of the Small Business Development Committee, Chairman Burns and Chairman Knight, for a morning order. House will be in order. Chairman Knight.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank everyone for who showed up this morning for Sportsman's Day and Coastal Day at the Capitol. Your participation was greatly appreciated. And again, your constituents out there across the state appreciate you too.
Thank you, Chairman Knight. And we appreciate your service for the heading up the Sportsman's Caucus in the House, and we encourage all of you again to join if you're not a member. Thanks to the Speaker for coming down and speaking to this group who's downstairs. I know all of you saw them. Great information in that resolution. If you're not familiar with it, you've heard it before, but it is important. It's important to read. This is Sportsman and Coastal Day at the Capitol today. We're pleased that our commissioner, our own Commissioner Mark Williams, is here with us today, along with many of his staff and other interested folks that are critical to our natural resources across our state. Now, let me remind you, this is the important part. They down there shucking corn, gonna grind some corn up. We're gonna have some grits, and the coastal guys brought shrimp. So in room 230 at noon, you'll be able to enjoy some of those wild Georgia shrimp and some grits to go along with them. So come down and join us for Sportsman's Day at the Capitol. We appreciate all of you.
What about the resolution?
We did. We already got it. Okay. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Representative Coomer for a morning order. Representative Coomer. And he's joined by Representative Battles and Representative Jaspers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Most of you already know that people from Bartow County tend to be above average in pretty much every way. And we're fortunate today to have some of the cream of the crop here with Leadership Bartow in the chamber, and they're led by Chamber President Joe Frank Harris Jr., who's no stranger to this chamber, practically grew up in these halls. I ask you all to stand up and be recognized this morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Purcell for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Previously, we adopted House Resolution 1273. Today, we are recognizing again a very special group, which is the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, GEMA, of the state of Georgia. A very special day for each and every one of us as we recognize the GEMA Director, Charlie English, is with us up in the balcony. We also have the President of the Georgia Emergency Management Association, Jonathan Daniel. Ladies and gentlemen, these folks provide a great service to our state and to the citizens of Georgia. In every one of our counties that we utilize them as a life-saving service during the most emergency times that our state will experience. We have a lot to thank these individuals for the coordination that they do for the emergencies that are handled throughout our state through our agency of the Georgia Emergency Management Agency. So if you'll please stand, gentlemen and ladies, as we recognize you for your service from our agencies across the state of Georgia. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We're going on now to the local calendar. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 839 by Representative Maxwell, 17th, Paulding County. Local legislation with Senate changes. Agreed to Senate substitute amendment. Requisite delegation signatures obtained. House Bill 700 by Senate Committee substitute by Representative Purcell, 159, Effingham County, through the local calendar.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall the bills on the local calendar now pass? All those in favor of passage of the bills will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of the bills on the local calendar. The ayes are 155, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Chair recognizes to introduce the Doctor of the Day, Representative Bruce. Representative Bruce.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to take this moment to introduce Dr. Jada Moore Ruffin. She is a board-certified family physician and a diplomat of the American Board of Family Physicians. She received her undergraduate degree in biology from Memphis State and earned her medical degree from Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. She has served as a chief resident, faculty member, and as an associate clinical professor. She is actively involved with both the Georgia Academy of Family Physicians and the American Academy of Family Physicians. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Jada Moore Griffin.
Good morning. Thank you, Representative Bruce, for that warm invitation and introduction. On behalf of Whiteford Community Program, school-based health centers in this state and across the nation, and on behalf of community health centers over the state of Georgia and all of the Academy of Family Physicians in Georgia, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm happy to serve you, and I'm certainly grateful for the service you provide for us. Thank you.
House will remain in order. We're about to recognize and honor some very distinguished Georgians. Chair recognizes the chair of the Majority Party Caucus, Representative Sheldon, for an invite resolution. Representative Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. Today, it is such a great honor to have the principal and staff from Osborne Middle School, John Campbell, and several of his language arts teachers. I know often we bring down state champions in football and basketball and baseball, but today we're honoring Osborne Middle School because for 2 consecutive years, their 8th grade students have been the state champions in the writing portion of the state test. So it's a huge accomplishment, and very thankful for what they've done. They also recently have received the Platinum Award from the Governor's Office of Student Achievement. And I learned about Osborne and the incredible job they're doing. Last fall, I was honored to spend the day as principal of the day following along with John Campbell, and you definitely have to have your running shoes on because he goes from the beginning, early before school and runs long after school's over. And I was so impressed with the students in the school, and I know that's because of the leadership they have. There are 1,600 middle schoolers, so that's 12, 13, 14-year-olds. I was anticipating a lot of attitude since I've had a couple of teenagers myself, but these kids really were engaged in every class that I saw them in, and I saw them in the halls, and the teachers greet them every morning. They're ready to go, so I just am honored to have them here today, and thank you for what you're doing for the state and for our community.
Thank you, Representative Sheldon, and I also want to thank Speaker Ralston for having us here today. It is indeed an honor to be here representing Gwinnett County Public Schools and Osborne Middle School in particular. Representative Sheldon got to know us through a Chamber of Commerce program called Principal for a Day. Let me encourage you, members of the House, spend a day in a school. I think you'll find it's very different from what you expect and a very positive experience, and it would be a great day for the school to have you there as well. I'd like to recognize the members of my staff who are here with me, Assistant Principal Mary Clamer, Kim Foster, 6th grade language arts teacher, Laura Gavin, 7th grade language arts teacher, and Deborah Mosley, 8th grade language arts teacher. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, let's do a big picture. Right here.
Chair recognizes for an invite resolution Representative Welch. Representative Welch.
He was going to read a little bit more than that. Mr. Clerk, would you mind reading the resolution this morning?
House Resolution 1302 by Representative Welch of the 110th, a resolution recognizing the second week in November as Kindness Week at the Capitol. Whereas on March 1st, 2004, Henry County native Hunter J. Welch, son of Kit and Buddy Welch, died at the young age of 12. Whereas Hunter Welch was known in his school and church as a tender-hearted, kind, and helpful young man, and initially a member of Hunter's life, and to pass on their gratitude to the Henry County community for the kindness shown to Hunter and shown to his family after Hunter's passing, his parents, Kit and Buddy Welch, started Kindness Works Pass It On Week in Henry County on the first anniversary of Hunter's birthday. Whereas with the assistance of Kathy and Kelly Lee, Ray and Suzette Rainier, Julie Royston, Ruth Rucker, Debbie Withers, Debbie Duffy, Sheila Wright, Sylvia Birch, and many other dear friends, Kindness Works Pass It On Week has become an annual event celebrated during the second week in November in schools and churches throughout Henry County. As a way of passing kindness on, Cindy Carter, Dana Fessler, and Kit Welch, in conjunction with volunteers from the McDonough Christian Church, McDonough Presbyterian Church, and others, worked together to provide Kindness Works Christmas Party for special needs children on the second Saturday in December during the Christmas season, when volunteers provide a safe place for special needs children to play and fellowship while their parents shop for Christmas presents. Now therefore be it resolved by this House of Representatives, the members of this body commend the kind works of these individuals, entities, and churches in Henry County, encourage other communities in our great state to do the same, and recognize the second week in November as Kindness Week for our state of Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. It's an honor to be before you today on this invite resolution. Micah 6:8 says, "Ask, what does the Lord require of us? To do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God." The love kindness, that love is a verb. Now, we always like to have kindness bestowed on us, but in this particular verse, Micah is talking about love, we loving our brothers and sisters, sharing that kindness. So what we've done in Henry County, as a result of the resolution that you've read, that you've just heard, we have kind of adopted a little bit different phraseology. In Henry County, we say, kindness works, pass it on. And so when you drive through Henry County in the second week of November, you'll see signs, white signs with little blue ribbons on them that say, kindness works, pass it on. And we want to pass on that kindness to the state of Georgia. And so my parents are here with me today, but in your bags you'll find that you have a short history of the Kindness Works movement in Henry County. You should have thanks to the school system and Miss Sylvia Birch, who's at the end. The children in the Henry County school system write essays on what kindness means, and you have a copy in your bag of at least one essay from a child in Henry County for you to read. You also have a blue wristband in your bag. This is what we do in Henry County, is that the kids have the Kindness Works wristband, and when they see an act of kindness, they pass on the wristband as a recognition of that kind act. So you have them in your bags, so if you see an act of kindness, we hope that you will pass it on. I just want to recognize my parents. In a time, my dad here, Buddy Welch, my mom, Kit Welch, my sister, Kirsten Welch, Miss Sylvia Birch with the Henry County School System. There are so many people to recognize that are here today in support of this. Kay Beasley, Debbie Hill, Ruth Rucker, Miss Lee, you're here today, I see. Many others that are here today that all work and participate in promoting kindness in Henry County, and it's a deep honor to be here today, and I'll allow my dad to say a few words if that's all right.
In behalf of Hunter Welch and the rest of the Welch clan, we wish to thank the good people of Henry County and all the efforts they have bestowed upon our family to show their kindness and to promote this very worthy cause. We wish to thank you for allowing this to be recognized today, and especially to all people who do realize that kindness does work. Thank you, Speaker.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
I'll come see you one of these days.
I'd like that very much.
I talked to Judge Barrett yesterday. We had a conversation.
Chair recognizes, House will come to order, please. House will be at order. The chair recognizes for an invite resolution, Representative Scott. Representative Scott.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, Please welcome the youngest member of the USA Martial Arts Hall of Fame, Mr. Savante Miller. He has his mother, brother, and his martial arts instructor. Ms. Clerk, could you read the resolution?
House Resolution 1179, Representative Scott, the 76th, a resolution commending Savante Marquet Miller and inviting him to be recognized by the House of Representatives and for other purposes. Be resolved by this House of Representatives, members of this body commend Savante Marquet Miller for his 2011 induction into the USA Martial Arts Hall of Fame and invite him to be recognized by the House of Representatives at date and time to be designated by the Speaker of this House.
Savante is an honor student at Forest Park Middle School in Clayton County. Savante Miller.
Good morning. I am honored that you invited me here. My name is Savante Miller. I'm a 7th grader at Forest Park Middle School in Clayton County. I'm a first Dan black belt in Tang Soo and Taekwondo. 6 months ago, I was inducted into the U.S. Martial Arts Hall of Fame for Outstanding Youngest Leadership Award. Thank you.
I'm not going to let him leave me. I'm going to keep him up here by me today.
I just don't check, so I'm not doing it.
Check too close to you.
But hey, he won't recognize. He may not recognize you right now. You need to talk to him.
Hey, Josh. How are you, partner?
Spoke with Bill Riley about transferring this.
Chair recognizes for an announcement the Chairman of the Rules Committee. House will be in order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There'll be a Rules Committee meeting immediately in 341.
The House will be in recess for about 5 minutes while the Rules Committee meets.